Hello, a very warm welcome to Granada Reports Live with the latest across the northwest.
Hello there. On the programme this evening.
GCSE results hit record highs with more top grades and passes than ever, despite the COVID disruption.
Great grades, great grades. Better than even expected, you know.
I am feeling over the moon right now. I got the results I wanted. Best day ever.
Boohoo bring 5,000 jobs to Burnley and Manchester. The online fashion chain adds 300 million to the Northwest's economy.
Happy shopping.
But is the High Street making a comeback? Hundreds queue as Beals reopens in Southport.
Back with a bronze, a hero's welcome for Macclesfield's Carys Arting Stall from the next generation of young boxers.
And a family business with a difference, how the Andress family are celebrating 30 years of fun at the Blackpool Tower Circus. Well, it's great to start with those smiles tonight and those celebrations for students as GCSE results hit record highs in the Northwest. Even more to celebrate for them after a difficult year when exams had to be cancelled for a second year because of the pandemic.
Almost 26% of pupils achieved the top grades, with 3/4 achieving a pass in our region.
Many of them had been forced to miss weeks of teaching time due to COVID.
Marks were generated by teacher assessments, and there are claims the new system has inflated grades. Tim Scott reports.
Dancing for GCSE joy. There were plenty of happy faces at Manchester Enterprise Academy this morning.
We got good grades. Great grades, great grades. Better than even expected, you know. Better.
I am feeling over the moon right now. I got the results I wanted. Best day ever.
Like their A-level counterparts, these students didn't sit final exams because of the pandemic and were graded by teachers instead. But staff here are confident they've still faced rigorous testing.
That was done really robustly and in line with the grade criteria for the exam boards. What that means is that no student would have got a grade unless there was a load of evidence to back up that grade. So these are absolutely these students' results this year.
At Allsop High School in Liverpool, Abisa Arriva-Lagan's straight set of grade 9s put her in the top 1% in the country.
I'm really happy about my results because I did work really hard. Although this year has been quite different from the previous years, I think I've done really well and my parents are super proud of me.
The school is celebrating its best ever set of GCSE results. During lockdown though, the teachers here did more than teach. Regular home visits to check on student welfare and even food parcel deliveries have left the youngsters grateful for all of their efforts.
Because the teacher helped us to feel better, so we feel more confident with our work and stuff, and if we need their help, but they can always help us.
Teachers have been good. They've been good on replying to the emails, helping in class and all that. But they've been really good. It
sounds as though the teachers were sort of semi-community workers, social workers as well throughout all this.
Yeah, very much. They in addition to the teaching element, but also the support staff within school as well. It was a real team effort to make sure that we could provide the support whilst the students weren't here on site.
A record number of students have been awarded top grades in GCSEs this year. Some may say it's down to teachers marking them, but those grades have been externally checked by exam boards, and next year things are set to return to normal.
We think exams are the fairest system of assessing pupils' attainment. We've already announced that next year, 2022, exams will return, though we are making adjustments to those exams to reflect the fact that the students taking them will have suffered quite a bit of disruption this year.
For these students, their GCSEs will put them on the path to further qualifications and careers. It's the end of a difficult year, but one in which many have thrived. Tim Scott, ITV News.
Well, earlier we were joined by Joanne Elliott, a careers advisor from the National Career Service.
Every year they run the exam results helpline. You'll see that number come up in a minute, and it offers pupils and parents help and advice. She told us it has been a tough year for those who got their results this morning.
It's been really, really tough because they haven't been able to go into classrooms and do their normal studying. They have had to do a lot of online learning. And for some students, that might not be the best way that they learn. But also then they've had to maybe do self-isolating because somebody has actually caught COVID. But also there's the social aspect that they've been missing out on, because when you do go to school or college, it's going and seeing your friends, it's those extra activities, it's all those social skills that you learn as well. So it's been really tough. So to see them get these types of grades, it's just been absolutely amazing.
And given those challenges that you've just highlighted there, do you get the sense that students are less sure about what to do next than in previous years?
No, not at all. I think in some ways they've actually become more determined. There are so many different options available to them. So that's where we as the National Career Service can really support with that, because we can support those young people as well as those parents, carers and guardians as well, because they go through this journey with them also. Over
the last few weeks and months, we've been reporting on labour shortages in different sectors. I guess what is clear for many of these young people is that there are so many options for them right now.
Absolutely, because a lot of people think once you've done your GCSEs, you just then go on to A-levels, and that's not the case. For some, yes, A-levels is the best route for them, but you've also got BTECs as well that you can do at level 1, level 2, level 3. You've got apprenticeships as well, so it's that blend of learning on the job. And then there are the new T-levels that you gain at further educational colleges. Now, these are level 3 qualifications. They take 2 years to gain. And it's, again, a mix of that in-classroom learning as well as on-the-job learning.
Now, Joanne, every year we get something like this, those negative people who'll think that this year's been easier because maybe this time your teacher might be more generous than an independent examiner would be. So is there a risk that these results could be undervalued as a result?
I don't think so, because if you actually look at how these have been invigilated, it has been an extremely thorough process. But also there's this mention of, well, the GCSEs, they didn't sit an exam. Fair enough, yes, they didn't sit the end of year exam, but they've actually had to do mini exams throughout their course. So they have technically sat exams.
And just very briefly, Joanne, what would your message be to one of our younger viewers who perhaps didn't get the grades that they wanted to?
The best way that I can describe it is, say if you lived in the south of England and you wanted to drive up to Scotland. Now, the original route you wanted to take has either had an accident or there's now roadworks. So you go, OK, I'm going to take maybe the slightly longer route. It's going to be a little bit more scenic, but I'm still going to be able to get to Scotland. And that is very similar 9 times out of 10 with most of these situations. Is you may have had a little stumbling block at the beginning, but actually there is a way of getting to your overall destination. You're just going to take a different route.
Joanne, many thanks indeed for your time.
Yeah, a lot of us take slightly longer routes than we should do. Don't you worry about that. Very good advice there. Now, next tonight, shopping. Have you totally been won over by the online retailers, or are you missing that experience of shopping till you drop on the high street? We'd like your views on this, because tonight we're hearing about a big department store reopening in Southport. Could it be a sign of things to come? Before that, though, news of the online fashion retailer bringing thousands of jobs to the northwest.
Yeah, Boohoo say they'll create 5,000 new posts at a warehouse in Burnley and head office in Manchester.
Yeah, it's added more than £300 million to the region's economy over the last year as more people turn to online shopping during the pandemic.
But there have been concerns after revelations that some suppliers have been operating in sweatshop conditions.
Our correspondent Rob Smith is live at that huge warehouse in Burnley. Rob, a huge boost for employment then.
Yeah, it's massive, absolutely massive, just like the warehouse. Boohoo say they will invest £500 million in their business over the next 5 years to expand those warehouses even further, create new IT systems, and in the process they will create 5,000 new jobs, those 5,000 jobs at those sites across the northwest. It's a retailer that's been expanding left, right and centre now, and brands like Debenhams, Karen Millen, Dorothy Perkins. Effectively, 4 out of every 100 pieces of clothing and footwear that are sold in this country are sold by Boohoo. Just think about that number for a moment. 4 out of every 100. It's also a business that has had a bit of a dent to its reputation. There's revelations about conditions at some of its suppliers. It's worked hard and spent money trying to do something about that over the past wee while, and it's a business with more money to spend now on expanding. Someone who's glad it's got money to spend in Burnley is the leader of the council here, Councillor Afrasiab Anwar. Thank you for your time tonight. How big a deal is it for Burnley?
It's a massive deal, and the reason we feel that way is because of the previous investment of £117 million that's been invested on this site here has led to 3,200 jobs. So that's jobs that have led to spending power in the town, in the borough of Burnley. And what it means is that it helps other businesses thrive and prosper as well. So a further £100 million being invested here locally in Burnley it means more jobs in skilled labour.
It's a huge vote of confidence, isn't it, in the town?
It's a massive vote of confidence in our town here, and for us, more importantly, what it means is that Boohoo will be here, and it secures them for the future. But it speaks volumes of the relationship that they've built up with us as partners here, which is why they're looking to further invest.
Are you convinced that they have done enough about those issues with their reputation?
I think when these things come to light, I think it's what you've got to look at is how an organisation responds, and the fact that they've held their hands up and recognised that they've got things wrong, and the way that they are dealing with those issues speaks volumes. So they are moving in the right direction.
Councillor, well, thank you so much for your time tonight. Moving in a direction too on sustainability, lots of concerns about throwaway fashion. Boohoo pointing out today that they hope to have 40% of their ranges, they say, sustainable by next spring, summer. People keeping their clothes for a lot longer than they have been, given everything that's been going on in the past 18 months.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Rob, thank you. Well, let's get to that good news for our high streets with the return of Southport's famous department store.
Yeah, Beale's had been operating for 140 years, but closed in March last year after the company went into administration.
For many, its closure left a void in the town, but now it's back, and today hundreds of shoppers queued to be the first through the doors. Anne O'Connor was there.
They queued the length of Lord Street from 7 this morning to be there when Beale's reopened.
Happy shopping!
And then a rare sight, hundreds pouring into a department store that closed along with 22 other Beale's branches around the country when the firm went into administration just before the COVID pandemic.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a great feeling.
The former chief exec of Beale's runs this and 2 other sites bought by New Start 2020. It believes department stores aren't dead.
We've had such a positive message from the people of Southport. Yeah, people banging on the window, giving us a thumbs up, people even trying to get in where we were trying to merchandise the store.
The new model is to hand space over to local businesses like Lucy Lou Boutique, a mother and daughter run brand that used to have a branch close by.
But unfortunately the town lost its mojo a little bit, and all the retail businesses were going online, so we decided to take that chance and go online.
Now they have a shop in Churchtown and this concession. What's it been like?
Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely amazing. We never predicted it'd be like it is today.
Amazing exposure, and the fact that our little business has been given the opportunity to be in somewhere like Beale's is phenomenal, isn't it? Honestly, we're still taking it in.
Lifetime, isn't it?
We're still taking it.
We can't comprehend how it's all sort of happened.
And judging by the tills, they're not the only ones delighted to be here.
I always felt when Beale's went, the heart of Southport went, really. Because, of course, I was born in Liverpool, but when you used to come to Southport, it was a real lovely day out.
Hopefully the character of it will all come back at Lord Street now, because I think other people are sort of taking examples and thinking, well, that's an idea for us for the future. Yeah?
Because when it was previously open, we used to come in quite a lot. And then when we knew that Lucy Lou's boutique was in here, and then Baby Love for Freddie as well, I just couldn't resist it, and that's why I brought my friend down as well.
Yeah, having a variety of different brands to look at I think is really good in one place.
There have been more shops closing than opening here on Lord Street, and it's hoped £38.5 million from the government's Towns Fund will see a further revival of this Victorian shopping street.
We had our new market open, which is fantastic. Town Deal money was the big driver behind that. And even the wonderful lighting, the ambience that's created on Lord Street through all the tree-lined boulevard that it is really creating a real focus for attention for private investment to come in.
So Beale's is back, hoping to bring more with it. Anne O'Connor, ITV News, Southport.
Yeah, could other towns and cities follow suit? And we've had lots of feedback from you at home on this. Nikki Clare, for example, says, I hope shops make a comeback. I miss everything. Trying stuff on is a biggie. Drives me potty posting parcels back and forth when things don't fit. Maybe it's just me. I don't think it is just you, Nikki.
And this from Tracy Hughes. I miss everything about the department stores. The smell of the perfume and cosmetics counter, the hustle, the bustle, being able to feel the clothes and to try them on, and just mooching in general. Now it's all coffee shops everywhere.
Yeah, we all love a good mooch around the shops. And Daz says the best thing about department stores is that they're not open at 1 o'clock on a Sunday morning when you've had too much to drink. A very good point.
Now, a rocket has been seen making its way through the Isle of Man. The Almaz 206 is a Russian spacecraft that has been in storage since the 1990s. It's being moved to the Manx Motor Museum to be put on display to encourage more interest in space and science. It's believed to be the first of more space equipment making its way across the island in the coming days.
Wow, how cool is that?
Exciting stuff, exciting stuff. OK, still to come on the programme.
We're off to the circus to meet the ringmaster, still going strong, quite rightly, in his 70s.
And the annual Perseids meteor shower peaks overnight tonight, but this morning it was all about the breezy conditions along the beach in the Isle of Man. Shooting stars and your windy weather forecast a little later on.
OK, time is running out for you. A reminder now that the search is still on to find someone to represent our region at the Daily Mirror Pride of Britain Awards.
It is the glitzy awards night where the stars of the show are ordinary people who've done extraordinary things. And it's where this year's National Fundraiser of the Year will be revealed.
So if you know someone who should be named our regional fundraiser and be in with a chance of getting that national title, why don't you let us know?
Winners must be aged 16 or over, and entries for individuals only will be considered.
And you can head to itv.com/Pride of Britain and follow the links. The closing date for nominations is Friday the 13th of August, which is tomorrow, and full terms and conditions can be found at itv.com/Pride of Britain.
On to sport now, and lots more from our Olympic heroes.
Yeah, let's start with our extraordinary golden couple, the amazing cyclists, Jason and Laura Kenny.
Yeah, have they got another Olympics in them, do you think, Chris?
Oh, we'd all love to see them compete again, wouldn't they? And they're certainly not ruling it out. Britain's greatest ever Olympian, Bolton's Jason Kenny, may yet go for his 5th Olympics. And wife Laura is also still keen to compete in Paris 2024. The couple took their tally to 12 gold medals between them in Tokyo, 7 for Jason, 5 for Laura. They have 15 medals in total, but their precious collection is already taking a battering from their toddler, Albie.
So he'll be 4 in 2 weeks' time. And to be honest, he has already clanged them together. I make such an effort when carrying them, like to keep them apart. And Albie, no, straight round his neck, clanged straight together. 3 years doesn't seem like that long a time, I guess, as I'm sat here saying that as I'm getting older and older. But I don't know, I can't see myself giving up on the sport. I just love it too much.
I think, you know, it's kind of early days yet, really. Obviously, it's a much shorter cycle this time, which is, I think, is tempting for anyone who's kind of on the cusp. It's only 3 years as opposed to 4. But it's really tough to come back every time. It's really hard because I think, you know, whenever you watch any elite sport, you watch it on telly and it looks really easy, doesn't it? And it's no different when you watch yourself. You watched yourself from 4 years ago and you just think, oh, it looks really easy, and it feels easy, you know. But then when you try and do it again, you try and get back to those peaks and those kind of heights. It's really hard to actually do, and it's really demanding.
Well, another of our medalists now setting their sights on Paris is Caris Artingstall. The Macclesfield boxer who won bronze in Tokyo is bound to get offers to turn professional, but she says she's determined to go for gold in 3 years' time. I went to her gym at Macclesfield Boys Boxing Club, where they were thrilled to welcome Caris home. How proud are you to come back here with that medal hanging around your neck?
I can't even put it into words, honestly. I'm mega proud, mega chuffed, and to walk in the gym and see all the little kids just looking up at me with a smile on their face, it's proper heartwarming. It means a lot, honestly.
they're a noisy bunch, but you were saying that they're being on their best behaviour tonight. They're not normally like this.
Most definitely being on their best behaviour. Normally when I'm walking in the gym, they're coming up to me, giving me dead arms, giving me a little dig here and there, hugging me, jumping at me, cheering at me, but yeah, they're definitely on the best behaviour.
I thought she was really brave and I was really happy to be here and support her.
I believe a few of you get to have a go with her in sparring in the ring. What's that like?
Yeah, got quite nervous. I don't know what to do.
It's a bit scary. So when you get in there with her, she's also taller than you, and she's there, and she just looks you in the eyes and she's like, come on then.
She's a massive inspiration to all these kids. Really proud of her. She's come so far. She's 100% committed. She's the hardest worker in the gym. When she's in the gym, everybody knows she's in the gym because you can hear her working. She makes that much noise. Right from the word go, you could see there was a talent there, natural talent. We had to sort of bring that out of her.
Kevin was saying actually that you used to have to be coaxed into the ring a little bit, that you weren't actually determined to get in there at first, but then that something changed very, very quickly.
What other secrets has he been telling you? Yeah, I used to be terrified of getting in a ring, especially at competing, and if they was trying to intimidate me in the slightest, it'd get to me and I would start crying in the changing rooms, and him and some of the other coaches in the past have had to talk me into it and calm me down. But once I was in there and the bell went and I found my feet, I was more than capable of getting the win.
So has it made you want to do it again in 3 years' time, or would you consider turning pro now?
Who knows? Nah, I want to stick around in the amateur game because there's things that I've not completed. I know I've done the Olympics and it's the pinnacle of the sport, but I want to do the Commonwealth Games, I want to do the European Games. Like, there's medals for me to still pick up and collect. But also, I know I've been to the Olympics, but we was in tough situations, like it was a pandemic. You was restricted from going out and experiencing it all properly. But I want to go to Paris and just experience it all with no restrictions.
You've got a lot of passionate kids in here tonight, starting their journey. What would be your one key piece of advice to give to all of them?
Just give 100%, stick with it. If you can see it and dream it, then you can definitely achieve it. You've just got to give 100%.
And here's what's still to come on the ITV News at 6:30 with Charlene.
Coming up, a record set of GCSE results for the class of COVID. But despite the big increase in top grades, the gap between private and state schools widens. Also ahead, no one is above the law. The head of the Met asks her officers to look again at the allegations against Prince Andrew. And tributes to a TV legend after the death of actress Una Stubbs at the age of 84. Join us for those stories and more from 6:30.
Now it's all about the circus now. Sorry, Lucy. The Andres family have been running the show with Blackpool Tower Circus for 30 years.
Yeah, now in his 70s, ringmaster Lotzi is still going strong with support from his two sons, Mookie and Mr. Boo.
And now restrictions have been lifted. They're back to doing what they love best. Sarah Rogers reports.
They fly through the air with the greatest of ease here at Blackpool Tower Circus, but these hand-clapping, toe-tapping stunts are utterly death-defying. For the last 3 decades, it's been a family affair run by the Andrews father and sons trio.
30 years in your family, that's an amazing achievement, isn't it?
We were born into it. Well, he was born in a hospital.
That's true.
We were basically, I don't know how many generations.
9 generations on my mum's side and 7 generations on my dad's side.
Yes, it's in our blood.
Yeah.
You know, sawdust is in the blood.
In the veins, that's what
in the veins, that's what they say.
They took to the stage as tiny tots with their dad and now write and perform their act to thousands of people with 3 shows a day during the season.
What's this?
Tomatoes apart, tomatoes apart!
Is that tomatoes apart? It's 2 meters!
But it all started with their dad, Lotzi, the trapeze artist who moved here from Hungary more than 50 years ago. And it was a painful landing.
I did 20 years for flying trapeze. I had a few bad accidents. Once I broke my neck, I was paralyzed from the neck down. Another time I fall, I had 17 bones in my body broken.
Broke 17 bones, you still came back.
You do. When you're 18, 19 years old, the girls sticking to you like flies, you know, and that. Who wouldn't enjoy that?
Who knew that the flying trapeze got you the ladies?
Oh, yes, definitely.
You got a job for me?
All right. Let's try, if you can juggle.
Well, they've been here in Blackpool for some 30-odd years, but actually, I've managed to pick it up in just a few minutes. It's not that difficult, really, is it, lads?
The latest family recruit is Lottie's granddaughter, but her first year didn't go to plan due to lockdown.
It was a horrible, horrible feeling. And even last year, when we did get the OK to open, we weren't allowed to sing because of COVID, obviously. So I resorted to doing the lights and the sound. But this year, finally, it's everything open.
Seating is still spaced apart, but the fans love that it's back.
It's the greatest circus I've ever seen in my life. I've been coming here 77 years.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
It's funny and exciting.
Yeah.
The acrobatics and the skill level that they have, I think it's absolutely brilliant.
And it looks like the Andrus legacy is about to be secured for another few decades.
He's having a baby, as you can see.
As you can see, yeah.
Congratulations.
Put on a few pounds, yeah, I'm about 7 months.
Yeah. What act is this baby lined up for? What have you got a gap for?
Well, what, is it a boy or a girl?
We don't really care as long as it fits in the canon. So
that's right, that's right, yeah.
Really.
I'd tell them to stop clowning about, but I don't think they can. Sarah Rogers, ITV News in Blackpool.
They're so brave, aren't they?
What about Lotzie breaking his neck and all those bones, still going strong?
Unbelievable, as is the man who's been going there for 77 years.
What a tash as well, what a tash. Time for weather, here's Kerry.
Ooh, I love a hot shower, me.
And a minute shorter than usual.
What a legend.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello, very good evening to you. I might have been a little bit optimistic with my opener today. We did see some sunshine, but also quite a bit of high cloud this morning and later on in the afternoon. For Friday, still some sunny spells in the mix, a few isolated showers, but most of us dry. And those blustery, gusty winds we've seen for the coastline in the Isle of Man today will travel a little further eastwards as we head through into tomorrow. Now, last night under the clear skies, Dave Corkish in the Isle of Man managed to catch a Perseid meteor shower. Now, they actually peak overnight tonight, the 12th to the 13th. The best chance of seeing them is around midnight, and you could see up to 150 an hour. There's a lot more information on our website. That's itv.com News Granada Weather. So are we going to get those clear skies? Well, this has been the picture so far today. After that cloud first thing this morning, just a little bit of high cloud and a little bit of fair weather, patchy cloud. But for most of us overnight tonight, it stays relatively quiet. And as we head towards midnight, we're looking at largely clear skies. As we head into the early hours, perhaps a bit of a breeze, slightly higher chance of a shower. But for most of us, it stays fairly quiet, and that breeze keeping most of us into double figures. As we head into tomorrow, there are your sun times for Friday, and it's a blustery day tomorrow. The winds will certainly pick up even inland as well as the coast and for the Isle of Man, with gusts 30 to 35 miles an hour. See a few rogue showers on the charts there, but most of us dry and bright with some sunshine and temperatures around average 20 or 21. Now, as we head into the weekend, I've brightened it up a little bit. I think Saturday's looking a little bit more optimistic. There will be some cloud around, still the chance of a shower, but more so as we head into Sunday. But on Monday, a fresher northwesterly is working its way in.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Oh, hello.
Get him a towel.
Yeah, we've loved tonight. No bad news. Tomorrow we meet little Alfie, Wigan Athletics' biggest fan.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.